Sven covering today. Good morning, everybody. That is the question of the moment. We're going to be doing a little shorter stream today. Realize I'm sitting here in the dark. Why is my camera not in the stream? That's weird. It's also on the wrong screen. So that's weird. Boy, we got all kinds of problems today. Let's get this fixed, shall we? Let's see. Blink. Switch it to you. There we are. Alright, so Spencer Cam. Get it in this box. There we are. Alright, so today did not do my warm-up speech exercises, so hopefully I will enunciate properly and my diction will be understandable. So we're going to be looking at the pre-made module Dragons of Icespire Peak, the end of the Dragons of Icespire Peak module, and double checking, making sure everything is ready for this game for tonight. My soda's exploding. Crisis averted. So for those of you who use Fantasy Grounds, there are a bunch of Fantasy Grounds modules that are made by Rob Toohey and his team, and a lot of them are still on DM's Guild, and there's a whole lot of politics and stuff and business reasons why that is the fact. I'm not going to go into that. That's not the point. The point is what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to check every time you start your game and stuff. You want to check and make sure everything's updated correctly, because what happens is, so if you buy, say for example, the 5e special, spells effects. What that does is it gives you different spells effects and tokens and everything for every single spell, that for all WotC Words of the Coast property. So for everything from the Player's Handbook to the newest and latest book that comes out. Well, every time new books come out and stuff, that product, the spells are added to that product, and you have to update it. And you do that by going to DM's Guild, and then so I'll show you real quick while we're waiting. You would go to right here. This is a old link to one of my products. So you go to the Dungeon Masters Guild website, dmsguild.com, and then you would just go to your, we have to log in first. You go to your library, and then you can go through and update. Click on updated and just look and see when all your stuff is updated. If you click on this, it'll rank them by date, stuff like that. Well, what you just saw on the screen a moment ago is a new product by Rob Toohey that does it for you automatically. The first time, if you have a bunch of stuff from him, the first time it takes a few minutes for it to run its stuff, but then every time you log in, it will automatically check and make sure that you have everything that you have from Rob Tui's team is updated. So it is a swell, excellent product, and so that's what was happening when you saw that on the screen here, and it's something I would definitely suggest because his products are really solid, and they update. I mean, we'll be playing in a game and we'll say, oh hey, there's one word here that's wrong, or well, this thing is missing an effect, or the effect should be this in this weird situation, and he'll go and change it immediately. So they get changed and updated as needed, and as when people find out different things that need to be changed about them. So definitely worth doing, definitely worth having all of his updates and his and now the new updater to make your life so much easier. Alright, I've even have some things that I've done for Rob Tui because I'm part of his team, converted and stuff for him. The Grapplers Handbook is my favorite, most useful thing. Check it out down below. I've got some links to some of the stuff that I've done. I have a free one that's free. You can pay what you want, all the way up to the Grapplers Handbook. I've also done the Alien Bestiary on the Forge, so definitely check that out. It's amazing. It's got a bunch of new dragons, elementals, undead, beasts, plants that you can use in any campaign, and then it's also got science fiction things like how to deal with radiation and how to and then different races and different robots, and if you ever needed Cthulhu, the stats for Cthulhu himself, he's there, CR30 if I remember right. So he's definitely in there. So that's fun, very cool. Alright, so let's go back to what we're talking about here. I'll go ahead and expand these out. I usually keep them closed like you just saw, so I don't have to. The more real estate I can get on my screen, the better. I've got to scale UI up a lot so you can read stuff. I usually have it down a lot lower. So going to the campaign, we're going to our story. Is one way to do it. The other way to do it, move this up so it's out of the way, is I pull it down here and I have things. I don't remember why this is here or what this is, so I'm going to click it to see what it is. I Spire hold players. So we're going to open up these couple things. So here's the I Spire hold. Last time we were looking at the line of sight. And we're looking at we had minimized and gotten rid of a lot of the different line of sight. Occluders is what these are called. Every point here is an occluder, and so if you have too many, then it can slow down your computer. I also don't like how you can't see here that it's a wall. So what happens is, we'll open up the combat tracker real quick. I've covered this before. Combat tracker. I'll throw Cryovane, he's our dragon. Alright, so we'll do the preview, and we'll do line of sight and lighting. Actually, no, we won't do lighting, we'll do line of sight though. Alright, so you can see this, it's just blackness. you can't see why it just ends. And you can't tell that there's a stone wall there or a wood wall or anything. You don't know why they can't see. Let's go ahead and take this off. See if I fixed it. I think I fixed it over here. If and I remember right. Yes. So as opposed to this, I'll do this. So now look, see, you can tell, oh hey, these are walls that are stopping me from seeing. So as you walk around, you can see there are walls. So we were working on that a little bit. The other thing I wanted to check is, so before we can work on that, and the way you do that is very simple. You just go here, we'll go ahead and get rid of this. Line of sight, player preview, get rid of the token. As you go to the line of sight and you just move these in, slide the whole thing in a little bit. If they already have line of sight, if they don't, then as you're drawing them, you draw them in a little bit. So like here, I'm just going to get rid of and just have a simple line instead of having a double line here. It'll just be a single line, stuff like that, just to make things simpler. One, less occluders, which is good, and two, to make it to where you can tell there's a wall. But before we get into that, because this is time consuming, it's not that difficult, it just takes a little bit of time. I want to check and see. So what we're going to do is we're going to left or right click on this and minimize it. Go into our story. Yeah, I still don't know what this is. Lightning. Oh, it's lightning. Okay, never mind. So I have a player who uses lightning a lot, Witch Bolt. So that I drug the lightning token down. So that's what that is. It's a token, that's why it's not opening up. It's a token. Okay. Reference manual, Icefire Hold. Here we go. So here's the story. So we're going to click over to, before they get to, here it is, Icefire Hold. You have a large prone creature frozen in ice. Alright, so I want to go ahead and do this. Put this on a map. Just looking here to see. Alright, so Justice Frozen Ogre. There's no map for this. It doesn't need a map. It's not an encounter. There's no reason for it. I want the concept of a map. Let's see. I'm going to see what I have already. I'm looking here. It says a new image, but there's nothing really there, so I'm just going to kill it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look. Tortured Land, how cool. Nope, not what I wanted. So I'm going to type in frozen. I have frozen zones I just looked at. Here's frozen river. This is good, I like this. Frozen stones. Frozen stones. That's cool. Alright, so now let's put ice space. Ice Serpent battle map. Here we go, it's another one. This is really nice. Okay. Ice Mephit. Ice Goblin. That's pretty impressive right there. I don't know why it's shared. Horned Devil, Ice Devil, these are all different creatures. Okay. The Ice Spider. Wow, that's pretty not impressive. Alright, so I can work with these. Let's take a look. I like this one the best. They're working their way down the thing. Alright, so we're going to use this one. So let's take a look and see if we can, how easily we can get rid of this stuff that's on there. There's a couple of choices. I could take a screenshot, move that screenshot into Photoshop, or I use a different program for that called Pixlr, Pixlr.com, and just copy and paste and cover that. But I shouldn't need to at this point. Had I made this myself, the tokens would be very easy to remove. I'm just going to add a layer of ice on here. This has a grid. I don't really care for maps with grids. So we're going to unlock it. I'm going to open this up to give us some room. We'll keep this one in the background, again, minimized. So here's a story entry here. Put this over here on the side. If you move this down, here's our map from before the Ice Spire hold. If we finish this in time, don't know that we will. We'll see. Alright, so let's go ahead and click on this and see as I said, had this been built within Fantasy Grounds, there would be a different situation. I'm going to turn off the grid. Alright, so the grid matches perfectly, so I'm just going to have this off the whole time. There's no point in having both. So we have the grid already there. Let's go, yeah, so layers. So this is not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover it up, cover this stuff up with snow. So we go over here, move this over, we'll find some snow, go to our assets, which is under, close this, open library, go to assets. There's a lot, they came out with a couple different art packs that have to do with snow. I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to keep it in tokens just to see what we have for snow. Because a token will just cover it right up. Nope, there's no snow. Alright, so we go back to all. Alright, this will take a moment because there's a lot of snow. Different images and brushes and stuff for snow. So it'll take a moment for it to sort through all that as we wait. Here we go. Alright, so now we can cover this stuff up. This is huge. I don't want to use that big. I think I would go with something like, I could use something like these. Now these, while you're looking at these snow effects, the nice thing about the snow effects is that they are white for the most part. See that stuff like this? And so you can use them for anything. If I need dirt if I need leaves, if I need tar, blood spatter, you can just drop this in, change the color, and you can get pretty much anything you want. Alright, so we're going to take this right here. This one's pretty compact. We're going to drop it in here. We're going to add a paint layer, plus paint layer. We're going to say covering snow. This is under, we're going to add the stamp, and then we're going to take this one, drop it in here. I'm happy with the color. I'm going to take the opacity down about half, just because I want it to be, we'll take it down to, let's say, 255 is the max. So we're going to go 125, close enough. And then what we do is we have this, got everything ready. So now we just start, make sure we get this selected, there we go. Start covering it up. Okay, we can throw some of these more around, sort of break up the monotony. And then we just keep, we can turn it, use holding down shift, and using a mouse wheel you can turn it a little bit so it's not the same exact shape. There you go. So now they, if they look closely, they might tell if something's there, but it's not that important. It's not that glaring. And then we can do the same thing over here. Click, 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 and then we're going to turn. Shift to turn it. We can also change the shape, the size. So if we want it to be bigger or smaller, we can do that too. And there you go. So now you've got more. We've got our snow. So we're holding control and a mouse wheel makes it bigger or smaller. We'll just add a couple more here, just break it up a little bit. Alright, so there you go. Boom. And you're like, oh, it went over the edge. That don't matter. You could erase it if you really wanted to. Erase, but the line of sight, it doesn't matter. Let's see what the line of sight is. Rectangle, wall, you go click. Wait a minute, we'll put this into covering snow, wall, rectangle. There you go. So now there's no more line of sight. I'm not going to worry about the line of sight from here to here to here and stuff like that. Go back to play. We're going to get rid of. Wait a second. What happened? What happened, man? Did it not? It put the line of sight in the wrong spot. There we go. Try this again. We're going to make it, put it right where we want it. There we go. Draw our line of sight again. There we go. Oh, it just keeps adding it. Alright, well, we don't have a choice then. That's fine. No big deal. Not the end of the world. We could make a folder if we wanted to and put them together if we really wanted them together for some reason. It's not a big deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and slide this in. We're going to go to click here. We're in the wall. It doesn't really matter where we are. In line of sight, the select button will manipulate these. We're just going to slide this in. To the corner. Then we'll move up. Fix the other corner. There we go. And we'll fix this corner. And we'll go down and fix this corner. So the point is, they will no longer see those be on there. Now what I want to do is I want dead body. So we're typing dead space. I have a lot of dead bodies, thanks to a friend of mine. Okay, maybe I don't. What are they called? Alright, so let's take a look and see, because I have a lot more. So we're going to open up our File Explorer so I can see what they're titled. Go to my Fantasy Grounds. Go to my images. Come on, open up. Alright. Okay, maybe they're in tokens. Tokens. Dead bodies. Alright, so I have... Alright, so I'm just looking through my dead bodies here. Alright, corpse. So that is the keyword, corpse. Okay. Dead. Desert guard corpse. Underscore. Horses. You can see I have a lot of dead bodies. Hello, Atomic. Welcome, welcome. Looking for a dead ogre to use on our map. And I think I'm going to use this one here. I like this one. Corpse 19 Bravo is pretty cool. So I had typed in dead, not realizing that corpse was the word we wanted. Corpse, so I looked for it to see which one it was. Here we go. Alright, so here's 19. This one here is sort of ogre. So the storyline again. Stop, you fucker. Stop it. Alright, so we'll zoom back in on the map a little bit. So the story says, back on our story template, you see there, they will know us by our trail of dead. There you go. Tomorrow I get to hang out with Atomic again, because his will be up early enough. We're on opposite coasts, so he usually streams. He streams Monday through Friday. I always catch him Monday and Friday. Sometimes throughout the week, I'm able to catch him a little bit. But check him out. He's definitely worth watching. He's an amazing streamer. Really good community as well. As you make your way across the cold, wind-blown foothills of the Sword Mountains, you happen upon a large, prone creature frozen in ice. So the creature is an ogre that the white dragon killed with his cold breath. It was killed within the past 24 hours. Okay, so the cold of the foothills has kept the ice from thawing. And there's a big sack that's with it. So there we go. So we're going to go ahead and use. So there's this one. This one's not bad. Or this one. So we're going to go ahead and minimize this again. Goodbye. So this one or this one, they're both pretty good I like this one because she chopped off his legs when she left. So we will go ahead. This is a token. However, it doesn't have to be used as a token. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new paint layer and put it in as a paint layer. Because if you put it on as a token, the tokens always stay on top. And you're welcome for the shout out, Atomic, of course, absolutely. So if we put a token, they stay on top. You don't want this, we want this covered in ice. So we're going to go ahead and make it a layer plus paint. I'm going to call it body. Click on it to make sure it's the right one. We go to paint, make sure we keep it selected, and we're going to drop our corpse in there right here. Boom. So now it's no longer a token, it is now a paint layer. We're going to stamp it. Actually, I'm going to have to do that again because I did the wrong thing. Stamp. Now it's there. Stamp. So you can see here, boom. It's actually a pretty good size because these things are large creatures. So we're going to leave it that way. Turn it a little bit. We're going to say it's going to be right here. Sort of, boom. So actually what I think I'm going to do is put it down here. I'll have them come from here. And, so before I get too excited, what I'm going to do is take this whole thing and flip it. It might mess up my covering snow. So never mind, we'll just leave it this way. Never mind. Alright, so we'll put it here. Up here toward. So where the dragon landed. Put it there. Okay, so there's the body. Dang, damn it. I did it again. Let's try this again. Take this, delete, body, select. Select, stamp, this. Isn't it stamping? That's weird. What am I doing wrong? What am I forgetting? Visible. Alright, so we're going to go away from this one. Go back to this. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. It's on top of everything. Alright, so we'll just delete this. We'll make a new one. Now it doesn't want to work. Curious. Alright, before we get too far, also I want to check that this is called in the story entry. This is Travel to Icespire. This is called Frozen Ogre. So I'm just going to say Frozen. Make it unidentified, so when I share this with the party, they will just see Frozen as the name of the map. And we're going to add this to the story entry. So this is not the story entry. This is from the reference manual. So what we'll need to do real quick is we'll go over here to the campaign, go to story, and we'll look for Travel to Icespire Peak. So we'll click and we'll go Travel to Icespire Hold. That's what it was. Right here. Frozen Ogre. Okay. so I have an encounter built in already. So we're going to close this. We're going to go ahead and take here's the frozen ogre. So we'll hit enter here, and we'll add this map here. So what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. So give me a moment. Getting a little sidetracked because of the. So this is stuff I had added to the story entries, not into the reference manual. So I'm going to get rid of the reference manual. So when I click, because I'm using the hotkeys down below to make it easier to find things. Alright, I don't know why this won't let me do this. Stamp, paint, plus paint layer. Alright, so we're gonna, the reason I named it is we're gonna close it and open it back up again, and I'm sure that will work. That's right, I remember this now. Okay, so here's our story entry. We're gonna go here. We're gonna take getting us some room again. So this is what I had been using. Reference manual, Icefire Hold. So I can just drag the new thing on top of it and it will replace it. Or I can also go right click, clear the slot, and then drag this down to travel story, travel to Icefire Hold. Alright. So I have two encounters. I have a frost. I have a giant skeleton, a salamander. I also have a couple frost veil, which are creatures, pretty cool looking. I don't think I'm going to use the giant skeleton or the salamander. But let's get back to our image now. Here we go. Boom. We have our image. We're going to go to, we're going to kill these two layers because there's nothing in them. We're going to add a painting layer, go to paint, go to stamp, minimize this again, minimize, move it to here. This is going to be closed, and we go to our assets. We find our corpse again. Running out of time, so we gotta make it quick. Next page. There he is. There's our corpse that we want. We have stamp selected. We have here. We're throwing this here. Boom, and here. We've got our painting layer selected, stamp, so now we're going to go boink, there we go. Alright, double click this, call it body, and then we're going to do another paint layer. We are in stamp. We're good. We got this selected. So now we're going to go back to snow. Actually, we could also do ice. Before, I'm going to go back to sack because he was carrying a sack with him. There we go. So we're going to add the sack. Add the sack. We're going to click back down to the body layer, and we're going to add this one right. Move this over a little bit. I'm going to add this one right here. Boof. So right now it's 2 by 2, so it's huge. We're going to use the control key and hold down the control key, minimize it. hold down the control key and then use the mouse wheel. We're going to put that here. We're going to hold shift to spin it a little bit. So click, there we go. So he's got him and the sack. Now we're going to use, I don't think we have ice. I'll check and see. I should have put space before and after, but that's alright. Because now we have all these other artificers and other things. Dice. Ice storms. Alright, so here's some ice here. That's pretty good. Here, we can use that. Those are really good for layering on top of, like here, this wall here is made with different layers and stuff. I'm looking for something like, along these lines where it's just frozen in ice. This wouldn't be bad either. This is more water. That's and I know you're saying all ice is frozen water, but not flowing, moving water. Let's see here, icebergs, which you can use in water. So I'm going to go with this thing. I'm going to stick with these. And we're going to slap him in here. Boom. So we're going to go up here to the painting layer. This one will be called ice once it works. So we're going to go to the tint. We're going to make it a little whiter. Let's see if we go like this. Stamp, and then we're going to go here to the color picker. Make it, there we go. A little bit more. See through, and then we're just going to layer it on top. So this is the breath. We're going to go control, make it bigger. Come on. Behave for me, friends. There we go. Boom. Alright, so now we've got this. I'm going to shift it, return it. This is ice breath from the dragon. So click, click, spin it. Oops. Shift to spin it. And then we're going to make it smaller. Add some a little more smaller bits. This just makes it thicker. I'm going to make it bigger again with control, turn it a little bit. So there's this big swath of ice from the dragon's breath. There we go. And then we're going to call this ice breath. And then what I can do is I can then go to here, go to my layers, I can go to ice breath, and I can then change the opacity. I want to get rid of it like this, or I can just turn it off. So a couple different choices as they break through the ice and look at it. And here we go. So there is our stuff. We added it to the story. This is our frozen ogre and his sack of goodies. And that, my friends, is how you do it. So we took a map that was pre-made, had PCs, had some tokens on there. We covered them up with snow. We then added a couple things to it, covered them up in ice breath layers, and talked about how to do that. So we are all set and ready for tonight. Come back, check this out, see how it plays out. I'm going to go ahead and close these out. There we go. So tonight, from 6:45 to 9. It's only a few hours. You can also check it out on Using the Tubes. So come back tonight as we play the D's and the other D's. Thank you for stopping by, Atomic. I appreciate you. And don't forget, if you have questions, if you want to know how to work this stuff, if you have particular things that you're looking to do, leave the comments. I do respond to every comment. And like, subscribe. Unfortunately, right now I don't have a set schedule. My midweek is crazy, so the live play down below, those are all set in stone per se. But what I'm doing now, working with Fancy Grounds, working with Starfinder as a DM, prepping and stuff like that, isn't as set in stone. But leave comments below, and I will be sure to touch base and show you what you need to do and to answer your questions. So thank you again for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, send the link to all of your coworkers, and whatever else you do. Enjoy the rest of your day.